Hey everyone, what's going on? So I wanted to make this video about contact as an awakening process. And there's a few different ways we can look at this. So on one end, you have contact, people interested in contact, people wanting to get involved in contact, people having contact, and people having continuous contact, including sightings and stuff like that. So on that end, having the contact will ultimately lead you through a journey of awakening in some sorts. Um, and that also depends how you go about it, how regular the contact is, and what kind of contact you're having. So on that end, if you're initiating the contact, then most likely you're involved in some kind of intentional based work in CE5 and the contact movement. A lot of people practice meditation. They're already kind of involved in mindful practices. So practicing the meditation in itself is a process of awakening, and you add the contact with it, and you're experiencing these greater and higher realities and connections. And I think that when you're having contact and connecting with these extraterrestrial peoples who are very aware and they're very conscious, and they all have a different perspective, obviously, in some ways, and we're sharing, and I think that there's a kind of like a transference, a sharing of consciousness, and in that sharing and that connection, I think that there's a like a transference of ideas, maybe you can say, or concepts and understandings. So also on the other side of the spectrum, with just the general awakening process, many people just that have nothing, they're not studying contact or anything like that. They're just kind of practicing meditation, being mindful, and going about their awakening process, and boom, contact lands on their lap, whether it's like a sighting or they come across information and are drawn to it. Their intuition guides them towards that kind of thing. So it happens on both ends, and especially I think as a contact worker, practicing meditation prior to the CE5 protocols and the contact work, so you can have a more in-depth and meaningful contact experience. That just like when you practice meditation and all that before the contact work, you're going to have those deeper insights and realizations anyways, and then the contact, I think, just magnifies it, because now you're sharing this field of awareness with different beings and people, and that is going to help you grow. So I think also that to be seriously involved in contact in a serious way, that it takes a level of I don't want to say spiritual, because some people are kind of like tabooed and turned off by that, so I'll say conscious. There's a level of, I think, advanced consciousness, or you have to be consciously advanced or mature, really. You have to be consciously mature to a point to have a serious ongoing contact relation, I would say, for it to be very meaningful. And I think that this is kind of also true for humanity as a whole on a collective level. And we're doing this with CE5 and the contact movement, and so we have the CE5 initiative group and other groups out there, and I think that it's demonstrated its own level of maturity in how people deal not just with the ETs, obviously, through the contact, but with each other. So there's this mindful maturity that's going on. And I think that when we reach that mindful maturity as an entire planet, that then a greater open or mass contact where our planet or extraterrestrial peoples, representatives from extraterrestrial worlds will advance and engage in our entire collective planet as far as communication, open communication on a global level when we reach that. So there's a few different ways to look at it like that. And I would say that being involved in CE5 and contact work will definitely help you advance consciously or spiritually, and that from the other way around too, if you're consciously mature, that you will probably end up in one way or another stumbling across contact. So those are some of my thoughts on contact as an awakening process. If I wasn't so scatterbrained right now, I'd probably have a little more on it, but maybe I'll talk on it in the future again. So thanks.